first recipe we're going to start on tonight is the grilled vegetables. However, we found out earlier that our grill is broken, so we're going to do pan-seared vegetables, but it's going to be the same as you would do it on a grill, okay? With this recipe, you can pick primarily your favorite vegetables. You can do cauliflower, broccoli, you know, a few things like that. Tonight we're sticking with asparagus, zucchini, and squash because they're kind of my favorite, and I like them grilled. So we're going to experiment with those a little bit. So first things first, we're going to give them a cut. I've already washed them. So we're just going to cut the ends off. And you just want nice little slices out of it as they're rolling around. You don't want to cut it too thin because remember they are going to go on the grill. And as you cook them, they'll actually shrink up a little bit and get a little flimsy, so you want to leave a little bit of depth on them.
I do have to mention I can help you be a
Wrangler?
tidy chef and tidy up, as you mentioned.
She's the wrangler. And I like to leave them in the circle form, that way they stay on the grill and don't have a chance at falling through. And when the summer comes, you'll have a little bit of a bigger squash and a bigger zucchini while they're in season. So you could cut them in half if you wanted to do that. It wouldn't hurt anything. But while they're in the round, they'll actually stand up a little bit better on the grill.
Since I don't have you mic'd.
Yeah. Vanna White's giving us an O. Now, on the asparagus, as I'm cutting up the squash, everybody's pretty familiar with squash. I tend to think that the thinner asparagus has a better taste to it. So I always look for a bunch of the stalks are pretty thin on. And all I've done with those is, you know, normally you get a nice little stalk. I just simply cut down some of the stalk that's on there. Usually the tops have a little bit better flavor in them. But from this process right here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to slide it in a bag. Now this is just a 1 gallon bag. If any of you remember, it's what we used for the bag mix for our biscuits. We're just going to toss them all in there. And after we get everything mixed in the bag here, we're going to actually refrigerate it for about 30 minutes. We're going to turn it some as it refrigerates. We're just going to toss it on down in there. Alright, so now it's time for the seasonings, right? I like to add the dry seasonings in first, and then we'll add the liquid in. And if I remember right, it's a teaspoon. So we have a teaspoon of oregano and thyme, and I'm just using the Food Club. Now on the pepper, it's half of a teaspoon. And like we did on the beef sticks, I like to use the coarse ground black pepper. I feel like it has a better flavor to it. So we're going to add that in. Vanna's doing a good job of putting everything up over here. We've got our sugar. We'll sprinkle it in. All right, we have our crushed garlic. Now this is the garlic that already comes in the canister. It's already minced. It's already been smashed for you. So that's what we're using on this particular recipe. So we're going to add it in.
You can use fresh.
You could, but as you use the fresh, you need to roll your knife on it and actually crack it a little bit to release the holes in it. That's why I kind of like the one that's already minced up for you there. It's less work. But we will use fresh on a recipe coming up here in a few minutes. See if I've got everything I need. What am I missing? Olive oil
And lemon juice.
and lemon juice. Will you grab the lemon juice right quick? Should be behind you. All right, so we have 1 teaspoon. Notice I use the same teaspoon to do all the seasonings before I put the olive oil in there. She's working on the 4th cup over there. We're just going to simply add that in. The lemon juice helps keep the vegetables fresh, help them from turning. It also gives it a pretty good flavor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a little bit of air in the bag. Just kind of twist it up and put a knot in it. If you had a Ziploc, you could use that too. But once you get to this point, all you really want to do is just kind of toss them around in there so you get your spices evenly spread. Get your oil and your lemon juice moving around a little bit.
Does that prevent hurting vegetables?
It doesn't, you're going to leave it sitting, so you could stir it with a spoon or something if you wanted to in a different, like in a bowl or something along that lines. But with it being sealed up, it keeps all the flavors on the inside. There's no way for them to leak out there, and it helps blend them all the flavors together. So as you see it in the bag there, you kind of see you got your spices all around. So we're going to refrigerate this for 30 minutes, but through the 30 minutes, we're actually going to go back in and turn it a little bit, just so the season will get on everything. But that's about what you're looking for. You want about 1 pound of vegetables in there. You want to set that in the fridge there. All right, so we're going to let it heat up for just a minute there. Probably gets a nice little sizzle when we do this. But as you know, your grill's going to be warm when you put your vegetables on there. Part of it is just being able to keep an eye on your vegetables. One of the things that I like to do with vegetables is I actually lay down aluminum foil on the grill. If you've ever cooked asparagus on a grill, you know that the tips burn pretty quick on them. And the aluminum foil will actually keep it from burning. And a lot of people add the butter on their aluminum foil as they're cooking it. I, however, use just a little bit more of the lemon juice. I think it brings out the flavor in it, and it keeps it from searing as bad. If you ever got a hole in your aluminum foil with butter on it, you know you get a nice little flame up. Okay, so lemon juice does not do that, but it's a nice little way to enhance your flavor. Lemon juice is actually good for a lot of different ideas. It works very well on any seafood, and believe it or not, it works pretty good on poultry. For example, with your Thanksgiving dinners and stuff, a lot of people actually use lemons as they stuff their turkeys to help get the flavor through. They use lemons and oranges. The citrus brings out a real good flavor in it. So don't count out the lemon. All right, so we got it marinated here. We've rolled it around pretty well. You see how everything's got a nice coating of the seasoning on there? Nice and cold. Put my skillet warm up just a little bit more. Now, if you were doing this on the grill, you would want to lay it off sideways across the grates. That'll prevent anything from falling through, especially your asparagus. And when you cook asparagus on the grill, I always tend to turn my heads facing the outside of the grill. It seems to be a little bit colder on those spots than when it does right in the middle, and that'll help you save from burning on it as well. Another good thing about using the bag is it's less cleanup. Smell the lemon juice. We're just going to add them right in there. And as you see the seasoning right on there, everybody kind of see that? They're nice and coated. Now the grill will actually cook a lot faster than pan cooking it here. So be sure you kind of stand close to it and watch it as you go. Vegetables burn very fast on a grill. So just kind of keep a watchful eye on it.
You do this in the oven?
You could do it in the oven. I would probably put aluminum foil over the top of it as you did in the oven. That would just kind of keep the flavor rolling back and forth with itself. See if we'll get these cooking up here in a minute. Might take a second because my skillet was a little cold. Here's kind of what you're looking for when it gets done. See how it's nice and coated on everything. Notice your vegetables did get a little soft there. That's why you kind of want to leave the whole rings on the zucchini and the squash. It keeps them all nice and formed together. Once you cut them, it kind of makes the meat part of it a little soft, so they will have a tendency to stick to your grill. If you're going to do it directly on the grill itself, I would just spray it lightly with a grilling spray.